Malolele, my name's Staverton Conrad Kautoke. Everyone knows me as Tony, and I pretty much grew up in Tonga my whole life. As a teenager, I did all my primary school, high school in Tonga, and very fortunate enough to get a scholarship. And I went to Fiji School of Medicine to do 1 year there, where I completed a certificate in public health. And I thought it'd be really good to take the challenge to come here to New Zealand. I've only come here for at least a week in 1997 to New Zealand, and it's very big and exciting, so I thought I'll probably pursue it. Growing up in Tonga, especially as I mentioned before, as coming from a poor background, we had to work hard to get what we need. So in order to succeed in any of our goals, we had to work really hard. And our parents pushed us, and there was a great support from them. Parents really pushed us, motivated us, encouraged us to work hard to get a good life in the future. And with the scholarship, I was able to go to Fiji, and then I asked to shift here to New Zealand because I knew there would be more opportunities. So I came here to New Zealand in 2006, and I did health science in Otago University. And thank God for the good friends, the good support there. The Pacific Island Centre was excellent. And some of my really good friends, they were able to support me there and push me to study. And I was amazed at the level of technology, the libraries, and everything like that here in New Zealand. Everyone here in New Zealand is very fortunate to have that. I remember back in Tonga studying, like the electricity was so expensive, and usually I'd probably use a candle to study with. I didn't have a table, I was sitting on the floor. But enabling me coming to New Zealand, I'm able to have all this access to these excellent tools, which I know you guys have. Don't take it for granted, because you can get any information. Back in Tonga, it was so hard to go to the library. They only had a few books, so you had to keep going around. Internet was so expensive. Here, internet's like free, pretty much. So yeah, it was really good. Like, had a lot of hard times in health science, very competitive, and a lot of stressing, a lot of crying. I have to say, I look like a big, huge, strong guy, but I cried a few times after nights of studying. Didn't really work hard, being away from home especially, missing my parents, my brothers and sisters, and being in just a different culture. It's like a culture shock and a climate shock, coming from a hot country to a very, very cold place like Dunedin. It was a huge shock. My English wasn't as good as my English now, but I still remember when the lady said, "Hey, I don't think your English is too good. We'll leave you to do English in the first semester, and then we'll carry on with the second subjects in the second semester." I told her, "No, my English is all right." But I think coming straight from Tonga, she thought, just do it. And I was able to score 96% in my English exam, and that was just from all the determination and the hard work, especially with the good access to the resources we have here in New Zealand. That's why I want to push you guys, like, you have all the things that you have here. You just need to set a goal and work hard towards it. You can just don't take things for granted. You have everything here, like computers, internet, access to books, whatsoever. You have student loan as well. That's excellent. So whatever you want and whatever you can do, just aim for it and work hard for it, because you can get to the stage where I am. I'm actually earning money now. It's good money, I have to say, especially right now. I'm 25 years old, and being a doctor is just so prestigious. It's been a long journey, but it's very prestigious and privileged role. Ever since I grew up, I've always wanted to be a priest in the Catholic Church, coming from a very strong religious family, pushing for like religious beliefs. I've always wanted to become a priest, and ever since in 7th form, I remember my teacher, who was a priest, taking us to church and telling us, "Close your eyes and let's see what God wants you to be." So I said, "Oh, doesn't matter, because I want to be a priest anyways." So we sat there at church, closed my eyes, and interestingly and surprisingly, I didn't want to be a priest anymore, which is crazy. Something that I've always wanted to be for almost how many years, 17 years, just changed all of a sudden. And I thought being a doctor would be probably more appropriate. Not only can I attack people physically, but probably at that time when they're vulnerable, I can get for them spiritually. So I'm killing two birds with one stone. So it's excellent. So I think being a doctor is a bit more important than being a priest. So that's what my passion is. I love working with people. People are such amazing people. Like God has created these amazing people in this world, our families, friends, and just everyone that we interact with each and every day. So in order to help them in a vulnerable time when they're sick, it's such an excellent, excellent time. And that's why I'm really happy that I was able to pursue this career. And now that I'm a doctor, it's such a huge passion and a prestigious role. Very privileged, very honored, very humbled to be a doctor. And if you want to be a doctor as well, it's such an excellent role to go into. I really urge you to do it. It's such a huge passion and I'm very lucky to be in it. Okay, to you my young folks, pretty much I was once in your seat right now. I was born and raised in Tonga. I grew up in a poor family, and during primary school I have to say, let's be honest, we don't really like education. We don't like going to school. It's really hard when you wake up in the morning, get ready, go to school and sit there and listen to a boring old teacher. I have to say, primary school, I ran away from school heaps of times. I was really smart in a way that I've always waited for my parents to leave so I can say bye mom, bye dad, and I'll walk along the road and then they'll drive past in a taxi waving goodbye, and once they disappear around the corner, I'll just go back home. See how easy it was to be so smart in planning a way to run away from school. It's because I found it really boring until one day Dad got me, we sat down and Dad was like, son, I noticed that your teachers told me that you've been not going to school. And I know you've probably not been going to school, you've probably been hiding or running away from school. I want you to know that it is very important. School is very vital in order to have a brighter and better future. And that is if I'm not really talented in sports or anything like that. Well, myself, I couldn't really play rugby. I was probably the shortest person in my class. And so I thought, yeah, Dad's probably right. I don't want to be begging for food and asking around people for money and stuff like that. So I thought maybe I should put my foot down, go to school, study, work hard, which is really important. So from that day on, I still remember, that was 1996. I sat down, I was like, nah, I'm going to study hard, work hard, and have a goal to aim for. 96, I was probably the bottom of the list. 97, 98. In 97, I became the third. Can you believe it, how I sat down and studied from being the last in the class to being third in the class. And I thought, wow, if I can do this, I can actually study and become first one day. And went into high school, I worked harder and harder, and just having that great feeling of you've achieved something. I became first in years 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I pretty much became Duck's head boy. So it's just because of the hard work, and if my dad didn't talk to me and tell me to sit down and study, I'd probably be bumming around right now. And we all know that education is quite hard, but if you actually put your aim, a goal, and something to motivate you to work towards it, you know you're going to be rich one day in the future, go for it. I'm here right now, and thanks to Dad and thanks for all the family support that they've encouraged me, and also the prayers that everyone have prayed for me. It's been an excellent road, and you can do it as well. It's such an amazing journey, but education is really, really good. You're earning really good money as well, and yeah. Okay, so my fellow students, brothers and sisters, my message to you is don't take things for granted. Look at all the things that you have here and don't take it for granted. Work hard, play hard, and you still try to get a goal to achieve. At the end of the day, it's you that have the responsibility. If you want to have a good future, it's yourself. You need to determine what you want. If you want to end up on the dole and just staying at home living the benefit, it's up to you. But at the end of the day, work hard, play hard, and don't take things for granted. And the other thing is, do what you want to be, like what are you passionate about. If you want to pursue something in economics or health or anything, you have to have a passion for it. You got to aim for it. I remember the saying, one of my favorite sayings that kind of like is a motivation. It's by Dr. Ben Carson. He's a pediatric neurosurgeon in Johns Hopkins in America. And the thing that his mother always told him, because he was a black doctor and everyone thought he was dumb and stuff. But his mom always told him this simple thing by saying, you can do what anyone else in this world can do, but only you can do it better. So it's very important that you determine what you want and work hard for it, strive for it. I wanted to be a doctor, and now I am a doctor. And I've got my stethoscope now, which is pretty much a sign of a doctor. Sometimes we just hang it there, but it's like a sign of a doctor. And yeah, I listened to my heart, and this is what I wanted to do, is to become a doctor. You can do it too.